Hi Year 7, welcome back to Term 2 of Geography. It's Miss Wilson here, and I'm so excited to be able to communicate with you again like this. Miss Collins and I can't wait to start our new topic, interconnections, with you, and to use a variety of new and exciting online learning tools so that you can really engage and interact with our new topic for geography. Just as a way of a couple of introductory things that are really important to set up for yourself so that you're ready to go for all of your online learning, however long that may last, we're going to ask that you please check your email inbox as a priority. You should have received a letter from Miss Collins and I at the end of the last week of school holidays. The letter has been sent out to all students, and in the letter there will be, or in the email, there will be a link to a letter that will take you to a document that looks like this. And we really encourage you to read through that letter closely so that you are ready and have access to the virtual tools and have completed the following so that we can jump straight into doing some really, really interesting work and learning this term. I'm not going to spend too long going through the whole letter, but I just want to point out a couple of really important key areas that we want to make sure that you're ready and raring to go with. The first really important thing to know is that there's going to be a new Term 2 Interconnections Google Classroom. And this classroom is for all students in both Miss Collins and Miss Wilson's classes. You will find all of your work that is going to take place in this new topic and across Term 2 in this classroom now. Miss Collins and I know that we have our own individual Google Classrooms that we've used in the past, but we're going to put them into hibernation for now. Please don't delete them or unenroll yourself from these old classrooms because we'll probably use them again when everybody has returned back into the classroom and to school. The reason why we've created this new classroom is so that everybody is receiving the same instructions, is completing the same activities, and there will also be opportunities for interactions on our new classroom, including making comments if they are appropriate and timely, and participating in a series of virtual meetups for some lesson activities. And this will be on special occasions when the activities such as a live Kahoot might be taking place, and you'll receive more information about when those things are going to happen. Using the Meet link is a pretty easy thing to navigate, and I'll show you where you can find that link on our new Google Classroom in just a second. Here's the code to access our new Google Classroom, and this is in the letter that you've been emailed as well. Feel free to pause the video here if you want and go and add yourself into the classroom so that you can continue to follow along with the video because I'm going to show you what the classroom looks like now. This is our new Interconnections Term 2 Geography Google Classroom, and this is for all students. It doesn't matter what class or which teacher you have. Again, the class code to enter the classroom is displayed on the screen at the moment, and you can also find it in your Term 2 letter that has been emailed to each student. In the banner, you'll also find the link to the meetup or virtual meeting opportunity that we might try out when we do a couple of live Kahoots across the term. Stay tuned for more information. As per usual, we're going to ask that you use the classwork tab at the top of the screen, and you'll find all of your lessons are listed in the classwork area. Miss Collins and I have tried to order the lessons and label them in a much clearer way than last term. So they're fairly easy to follow, and you know that each lesson is labelled as such. Lesson 1, Lesson 2, Lesson 3, Lesson 4, Lesson 5, and so forth. Some lessons might have 2 parts, but only on a special occasion if we're trying to do something interactive. For example, Lesson 2 has a Part A and a Part B. So when you sit down to complete your lesson on your scheduled time and day, please make sure that you check the lesson above and below it, just to be sure there's not 2 parts to that lesson. If we go back onto the home page of our geography classroom, you'll notice by the time you enter the classroom, there may be a couple of posts that have already appeared. These will be introduction posts, and one of them in particular is very important, and we just want to point out what it is we'd like each of you to do with your work this term. So to go back to the letter, where there will be an explanation about this, and then I'll show you again on the classroom. Miss Collins and I have decided to create an online student workbook for each student. It will be placed in our Google Classroom for all students, and individual copies have already been created for you, so you don't need to create a copy when you open this up. This is to ensure that the majority of your work completed during this term and topic is in the one place. So we're going to ask that you please copy and paste your completed worksheets from each post or lesson, or write your answers directly into it, if of course writing answers is appropriate for the activity. This online workbook will be checked regularly by Miss Collins and myself to see your progress. If we go back into the classroom, you'll see that there is an important all post. And when you open it up, you should see a set of instructions and a copy of the online workbook for you to open up. As previously mentioned, the online workbook has already been created for each individual, and your name should appear at the top of the title here, or in the front half of the title. If you can see your name, such as Miss Wilson, Term 2 Geography Online Workbook Interconnections, then that's your copy, and you can write into it or copy and paste your worksheets into it. The workbook should be blank at this stage. It has a title page and some instructions, which are pretty much summed up in what I've already said about copying and pasting your completed worksheets and activities from each post or lesson. We've also asked if you'll place a title at the start of each copy and paste activity worksheet to indicate what post or lesson it has been taken from. For example, Lesson 1. We've already set the first page up for you, so after you've completed Lesson 1's activity, you copy and paste it off the original worksheet into this space here. And then you would continue on for the remainder of the lessons and activities. Let's go back to the letter now and have a look at some of the other virtual tools we'd like you to make sure you have access to. It's important that you've downloaded the Zoom program onto your school laptop so that you can view video clips that Miss Collins and Miss Wilson have created about our topic. There might also be opportunities for whole class Zoom meetings in the future. We do recommend that you download Zoom onto your laptop only. It doesn't really work as well off your phone for school purposes. Kahoot. Make sure that you're able to access the Kahoot website, and we're actually going to trial doing a whole class live Kahoot in our second lesson. You will receive a specific date and time about when these will be occurring and how to access them on our new Google Classroom, so make sure you're checking it regularly. Generally, these live Kahoots, if we do them regularly, will take place during a normal scheduled lesson with the rest of your classmates. And you'll use the Meet virtual tool on the Google Classroom that I explained and showed you before to carry this out. More information to come. We're also going to try and set up a series of virtual group work activities for you to complete so that you can interact with your classmates even from afar. There will be opportunities for you to work in groups virtually using a variety of different tools, just as you would if you were in the real classroom. Each student will be assigned into a different group within your class, and you will also be given a specific role or responsibility. You will receive further information about the instructions, what group you are in, and what your specific role is in that group, either in this letter or very shortly afterwards. Finally, exit tickets. You will find that at the end of each learning cycle, which will be approximately every 2 weeks or every 5 lessons, that you will be asked to complete an exit ticket on the areas that you have just studied and the lessons that you have just completed. The exit ticket is going to ask you to reflect on your learning over the previous few lessons. And this means that Miss Collins and I can get an appreciation of how you have understood the learning and activities that you needed to complete. It's not a quiz, it's not a test. It's completed as a Google form and it can be found on our Google Classroom when the time is right. It's more of a reflection activity. You might choose to show your parents this letter or maybe even get them involved in ensuring you have the above virtual tools ready to go. Once you can tick 1 to 6 off your list, then you should be all set up and ready to go for Term 2 and our first introductions into our new topic, interconnections. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact either geography teacher, but maybe contact your own geography teacher as a first point of contact. Year 7, Miss Collins and I are really excited to start our new online adventure together, and that's what it is. All we can do at the end of the day is ask you to try your best. We know that these circumstances aren't necessarily ideal, and we miss having you in the classroom very much. We hope that we can see you all back really